When you have children, the blessing of having children, especially if you're dedicating 90% of your life into your children, right? See, the blessing is not just having a child and your family is growing and things like that. Okay. Your DNA is just moving on throughout life, right? Another blessing of having children, and I've learned this through my sons, right? You'll be surprised what people have said to me about my own sons. I mean, people, a lot of times people will test you too. Um, People will be narcissistic, people or just abusers, people can be jealous, right? But this is one thing I've always paid attention to, right? It could even be from your closest relatives, okay? And when I say close, it doesn't mean you're close, really close. It just means that in a blood relation sense, you're close, okay? You will find this, and I don't know. I'm quite sure I am not the only person in the world that has experienced this, and I know I'm not because you got YouTubers telling you constantly every day, no, go no contact with your family. Okay, so what I paid attention to is people that do the least for my sons. And I mean, not just the least, nothing. This person has never even sent your child a dollar. Okay. And I literally mean that, a dollar. But they will say just horrific, out of the blue things. They might even say, you might send them a photo of the child, right? And they may say something like, oh, look at the serial killers, and not even put a laugh out loud behind it. I remember that actually happened to me. And it was during a time when I was, myself and my sons were homeless slash displaced. Okay. And I had sent a particular person, um, a very close friend slash could be ex relative, right? And my sons were standing in front of my SUV because we had just left the appointment for them to enter into the shelter that they ended up staying in for 4 months. It was almost like they had been adopted for 4 months. Okay. So I remember telling my ex boyfriend slash soulmate, the gentleman that I had mentioned that I call my soulmate, right? I expressed to him what the person said and just other things that had happened. And one of the good things about my ex is he had raised his own sons. He was married to their mom till his sons were about 18 or 19 years old. And he just wasn't one of those type of men where he be talking about people kids. If anything, he just always complimented my sons and said that I was doing a great job, and even told me it's not true that a woman can't raise emotionally healthy sons. He always told me that when I would say things like, well, they really need a dad in their life, he was like, no, they don't. They will be just fine with just you raising them. And of course, I mean, that was convenient for him to say because he didn't want to sign up for the stepfather thing. So, but actually that was his belief too. I mean, a man ain't gonna sign up to be a stepfather is if he's convinced himself that children really are okay without the dad, you know? And so at the end of the day, I take that as a motivation. Like, yes, you can do this. There's been many athletes that have turned out very well and were raised by single moms. And they ended up millionaires. A lot of them were pastors. And I mean, not one of these pastors that's toxic either. I'm not speaking of one of those. However, that's been my experience, that I always paid attention to the source of who's saying it. You know, they do nothing for your child, but will be the first one to tell you, oh, I think your son gonna jump from a building pretty soon, you know? But just very toxic. So just take it with a grain of salt and just continue to live your life. You know, something like this could be said, and that particular person that said that horrible, you know, when you send someone a photo of your child, right? Whether they're a teenager or not, whether they're male or female, you really don't want to get a text back saying that your child is going to be horrible. However, one of the things I did was, no matter what I was told, no matter what I heard somebody has said behind my back, I continue to parent. And I am reaping the great benefits, morally and spiritually, of great attitudes that my sons have. It's not perfect. We do debate. We do have our arguments. We do have our differences. We don't always agree. Many times, my sons and I, we have to find some kind of common ground. Yes, they do complain. Is every part of my parenting something that they like? No. I'm not going to get on here and sell you no fantasy. However, I am very grateful for the people that I've had in my life that I have been able to confide in. And many times you got to remember this. The person that's saying the toxic thing about your child, they've painted a picture in their mind that they want to paint. But the people that said the best stuff and the best things about my sons are actually the people that are around them all the time. So whose information do you want to take as valid information? The people that are around your children every single week. Like, for example, every single Wednesday, the people that are involved in my son's life, I'm going to take their opinion and their validation over a freaking relative or friend that don't do nothing for my sons, but always got some toxic crap to say. And I'm going to end this short ministry right there. You validate yourself, and anytime somebody says something to you and the evidence just is not there, the evidence ain't what somebody just say out of their mouth. Anybody can say anything. And parents continue to parent and ignore these demonic, crazy statements that have no form of validation to it. From half the time, jealous-hearted people. Just because somebody is kin to you or your relative, they're just blood related to these kids. That don't mean that they have your kids' best interests at heart. That also don't mean that they really love those kids. And might be mad because you love them so much. And I'm going to end it right there once again. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy tonight's ministry. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like. And share this video. And thank you so much.